Today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm still going to talk about my favorite game mechanism, but the game I'm talking about is in an episode of Netflix's Black Mirror from season 4 called USS Callister. I have a very small spoiler. I really don't think it'll spoil the episode if you haven't watched it, but if you haven't watched it, I would highly recommend it. It's a fantastic episode. The very small spoiler that I'm going to say is that in the episode, a big part of it is about a person who is playing a video game in the near future. And in this video game, here's the twist, the hook, that's very minor spoiler again, is that when the person isn't playing the game, the characters in the game are still doing things. They're still active. Now, this isn't completely novel to USS Callister. If you've played like a massive multiplayer online game, when you leave the game, stuff still happens in the game. There are games where you, like iPhone games, where you can tell whatever your creature is to do something while you're not using it. And also, I guess in the movie Toy Story, the toys come to life when the humans aren't there. Things are happening when the humans aren't there in Toy Story. But I started to think about this, in particular with USS Callister, because it is about a video game, and it's a really interesting concept that even when you're not playing, the characters in the game are still doing things that might impact the play when you return to it. And so I wanted to just explore today a little bit because I thought it could be interesting in a campaign-style board game as well. I have a couple different ideas I want to throw out here, but the general twist is when you stop playing the game, you write down the date when you stop playing it, and then when you return to the game, you write down the current date, and you figure out the difference. So say you've been gone for 1 week. You haven't played the game in 1 week. Based on that time, you'll somehow use maybe a chart in the game or cards, something that will help you look up what 1 week means in the game. What has happened in that week, during that week while you've been gone, while you haven't been playing the game. And I think there are a few different aspects that this could manifest in the game. One is your characters in the game have been doing their own thing on their own. So you come back to the game, you say, hey guys, what have you been doing for the last week? And they say, hey, we've done this, we've done this. These would be things that the game would generate on its own. Probably story elements. Either the characters have done things, or, and this is the second option, when you leave the game behind, maybe you tell your characters, hey, I want you to do this while I'm gone. I want you to do this grindy thing that I don't want to do during the game, but you can do it while I'm gone. So something simple like, I want you to cut down the trees in this forest. And depending on the time between when you last played the game and then when you return to the game determines how many trees they've cut down, how much land they've cleared, or how many logs or wood they've gained during that time. Or you might say, okay, I don't think I'm going to play this game for about a month now, which should be enough time. Like you could look at a chart to say, okay, what can I get done in a month? And you could say, I want you to do these steps to work towards building me a house. So maybe the first step of that is to start clearing part of the woods and getting the wood for that, and then to start building that house. And if you put in a month, and say you aim for that, you say, I want my character to build a house while I'm gone. But you come back early, then you might find the house only partially done. And so you have to, during the game, you have the choice of, okay, do I want to finish this house or do I want to leave this to my character when I'm not actually playing? The last option, and you might think of more in the comments, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. The last option is that world things happen while you're gone. So it's not so much based on your characters or, about your characters themselves, but the characters around them or the greater world. So if you've been gone for a day, maybe nothing has happened. But if you're gone for a week or a month or you haven't played in a full year, maybe a ton of stuff has happened in this world. The idea behind this is both with that grindy aspect, maybe if you do have something grindy and boring to do, that you can have your character do it while you're not there. But the other idea is to make it really feel like a living world. It's not just a world that's there for you to play in. It might feel like a living, breathing world that you get to visit every now and then and see what's happening in that world. I don't know if this would work at all. I almost didn't make a video about it because I think it's a pretty cool idea and I'd like to explore it, but I have so many other projects right now that I know I'm not going to explore in the near future, and so I'd love to brainstorm the idea with you. If you have any thoughts, if you've seen this in another game or would like to discuss it in video games, because I'm sure this has happened in video games, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thanks.